Also with us is Cheryl Dorsey, former LAPD. Cheryl, as we look at this, and as Drew's pointing out, maybe not some of the red flags that we're used to seeing. One thing that is consistent, though, every time we are dealing with a school shooting here or with a shooter, there is not always a list of boxes that we can check to say, oh, yes, we missed these three things, and so we should have known, and next time we'll look exclusively for these 3 points. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way.
You know, it's very difficult to act on what someone might do or try to figure out what's in someone's head. There's always red signs, and we'll find out what those red flags were after the fact. But, you know, as a parent, and I'm not, blaming the parents of this young man, but certainly where were these items that he used today being stored? Were they in the home? And, we have a responsibility as parents to pay particular attention to what our children are doing. And I understand that when they get 16 and 17, they think they're grown and, they don't want us looking over their shoulder. But I think it's important that we understand that that's what we need to do. And we need to make sure that our kids are in a good space. And we need to be aware and cognizant of things that may be a little different today about the way our children are behaving, and ask questions and inquire about what's going on in their lives so that we can prevent these kinds of tragedies.
You bring up such a great point, because it's something that parents, I know I as a parent too, that we struggle with, because there is a lot out there that there is no handbook for. Social media being one of those things, your kids having access to a phone that they have on them at all times, because in a lot of schools that's how they get their assignments. So they need to have that phone with them. It's tough to navigate as a parent. How much of this is the parent? How much is it in coordination with the school? I mean, have we figured out that formula yet?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, but I would put the onus on the parent, because we're with our children, certainly more often than most. And, we're in the home with them. We're in those private spaces that, they like to call their own. And I think, we should not be so tentative about being a little intrusive. I certainly would enter my son's rooms on a regular basis, and there was nothing that would be in my house that I wouldn't look at or question them about. And so we need to pay particular attention, and particularly for those parents who seem to be gun enthusiasts, and I'm not one of them, but if that's your thing, then you need to make sure that you're properly and adequately locking and securing those kinds of instruments, weapons, so that your children don't have free will and access to get to them.
And that's one of the things that we've been trying to, that obviously we don't have all the answers to yet, Jonathan, as we're bringing back in here. We don't